lines are jam-packed right now. But Brandon, quickly, before we go to the callers, so tell us about the Cliven Bundy case and what happened to the federal agents.
Yeah, so basically they couldn't intimidate Mr. Bundy off his land by telling him he owed these fees, blah, blah, blah. So they show up, the BLM, Bureau of Land Management, shows up with armed, literally armed to the teeth, federal officers. A standoff ensues. People start coming from other states, other local cowboys. And when I say cowboys, I'm talking about the real deal.
Hundreds of them
yes,
on horses.
On horses. They come there. Some of them armed, yes. But I'm watching all the videos. I never saw a single civilian that took their firearm out.
Right.
Now,
but the agents did.
Openly displayed. Now, the agents, there's snipers on hilltops. There was a no-fly zone instituted.
That's in case they needed to get drones in there.
Right. Well, there actually were some stories, and unconfirmed, that there were drones in the area that were seen. These guys are literally on bullhorns. You can hear them telling the cowboys, if you come any closer, we will shoot you.
Right.
They're telling him that. We will shoot you. So they finish up trying to take his land because apparently now he's endangering a desert tortoise. Well, as it turns out, the feds back down. Right. And I'm just telling you guys, if you haven't seen this video...
You got to see it. I've seen it.
InfoWars was there live, and they have the video. I'm telling you, you can call me a sissy, but it brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah, because the feds were running.
Because the feds back down. And you know what's interesting? I made this point to you earlier today, and you hadn't noticed it. I want people out there that go and watch that video, look at the supposed federal officers. Right. I want you to look at their appearance.
Right.
Because many of these guys were very rough-cut looking, long, scraggly beards, not well kept. Right. In my opinion, these were hired guns.
Could be.
These are not federal officers.
Could be. I'm going to go back and
Some
look
of these
at
guys,
it, right.
in my opinion, probably ex-special forces kind of guys. Listen, it's come out that the head of the BLM was a former, like Delta Force or something.
Right.
That had served multiple tours in Afghanistan. Now, I'm not making that guy bad, but I'm just saying that when you look at the appearance of some of these guys,
right.
They do not appear to be a professional law enforcement officer.
Right, I got you. No, that makes sense to me, and I'm going to go back and look at that.
Like a hired gun.
Well, listen, let's bring on some callers. Ed, you're calling from Fort Walton, Florida, over there in Central Florida. Good deal. And you want to talk about guns? Go ahead, Ed. You're on the line.
Yes, sir. I'm just down the road at Fort Walton Beach. But anyways, two quick points about the gun issue. The former mayor of New York, the bloomin' idiot there. Yeah. I find it amazing. I heard his comments earlier. And he talked about how we're not going to stop anybody from being able to go hunting and all that. I wish somebody would point out to him, give him a copy of the Constitution, and say, sir, where does it say anything about hunting in the Second Amendment?
Yeah, thank you.
But there's one other comment.
Yeah.
You know what today's anniversary is? It has something to do with Paul Revere. And,
well, tell me. I'm not aware of that. Tell me.
No, Paul Revere made his famous ride on this.
Today, to arms, to arms?
Yes, and do you know why the British were coming? The British were coming.
Well, they were coming to enslave us.
They were coming to confiscate the guns.
Yeah.
That was their main intent, to take the arms from the colonists.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Ed, about today. I did not realize that was today's date, but we actually just looked it up and verified it right now. That's awesome.
On the night of April 18th, 1775, silversmith Paul Revere left his small wooden home in Boston's North End.
Now, I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
I want you to think about where we've come as a country.
Yeah.
You've got these folks out in Nevada that do nothing but show up peacefully and look at an armed government pointing guns at them.
Right.
And stare them down and run them off. And they're called a domestic terrorist. But the men who founded this country, what does Paul Revere do? He's riding through the streets. And what's he screaming?
Right.
To arms, to arms. The redcoats are coming.
Yeah. To arms, to arms. Get your guns.
Look how far we have fallen as a people.
Well, let me tell you, the redcoats are back.
Yes.
They're here. The redcoats.
Yes.
The redcoats, the communists, the
exactly
socialists,
right. Yeah.
the European aristocracy who has been trying to seize this nation since it went independent over 200 years ago. The redcoats are now here.
Yeah.
And Paul Revere said, to arms, to arms. Let's go back to the phone lines. This is another Ed, and he's calling from Miami, and you want to talk about gun rights as well. Thank you for listening today, Ed. What's on your mind?
Yes. Buenos días, señor Pastor Carl Gallups.
Y a usted también.
How can you say Nevada is a state when 87% of Nevada is federal land?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, Ed, and thank you for making that point. And, I would agree. It's ridiculous. But, I'll have to give him his credit. That is a point that Mr. Bundy made often as he has been given airtime over this situation. And listen, Mr. Bundy has also made the point many times, said it's not about me, it's not about my cows, which the feds came in and stole and butchered and murdered several of, by the way.
Right.
And it's not about the land that he has grazing rights to. He said many times, this is about reclaiming the Constitution of the United States of America and the republic that we are supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you make an excellent point, Ed. How can Nevada supposedly be a sovereign state,
right.
which according to the Constitution it is,
right.
It's like Florida, but 87%, that's a good number, is land is federally controlled.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, folks, aren't you glad you're listening to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups and Brandon Big B? Because, you see, you're hearing things here that you won't hear when you turn on the news tonight. You're getting opinions and commentary and research that you're not going to get even from your mainstream media. You hear things, oftentimes you hear them first here, and then they're proven to be true months later, years later, right here on Freedom Friday.